All right, welcome to episode 15 of the PPBDL YouTube channel. I'm going to try something new this year, and since it's a shortened season with a lot of matchups, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this the Thursday inning stretch, and the goal of it is to just be more of an information thing to make sure that everyone's on the same page. I know, like I had put out in the text message thread, it just seems like you're playing every other player. So any game you're tracking like 4 or 5 guys, and with 3 matchups, uh, mostly within divisions, it's going to be something to look forward to. So kind of in conjunction with what Josh and Ryan are doing I think they're going to try and do a Monday podcast, Monday night, maybe Tuesdays when it comes out, podcast, a recap of the previous week. What I'm going to try and do on the Thursday inning stretch is highlight the first 4 days of the week and then what to look forward to going into the weekend. So I'm going to share an Excel sheet with you guys. Bear with me here. And so this is the initial thought process and kind of spreadsheet that I want to work with. So what we're looking at here is on the top left, this is just the stats, and it's basically listed top team is the highest for roto points for the week. So as you can tell, like Josh and Ryan are both going to be sitting at the top right now. So when we get into it right now, as of Thursday standings going into the weekend, they're both projected to be 3-0 within their division. In the green, I've highlighted who's got the top for each category right now, and in the red is the bottom, the lowest total for the current week. So our week, this first week, was expanded, so it was a couple days in the previous week, and then this full week. So I think it's 10 or 11 days total. So these numbers are probably going to be bigger than most weeks. Going to the right, what we're looking at is each division's matchups right now as they stand after the Thursday games. And then I'll have tabs for each of the divisions. So at the bottom, you see East, West, and Downtown Valley, or East, West, Valley, and then Downtown. That is the current standings for records for the week. So I'll try and continue to make this. I don't know what's going to happen once we roll into week 2 and if the stats can be separated week by week or if it's going to be a season total thing, but I should be able to separate it week by week. So going into the news and notes, I don't want to talk about what happened throughout the week as far as like COVID or injury players or stuff like that, because I think that's going to be a podcast thing that Josh and Ryan are going to talk on more than anything. What I want to focus on is just strictly what's going to happen Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So for this week, I mean, we've had the Marlins disaster. So it's going to impact the Phillies Blue Jays matchup, which has been postponed, and then the National Marlins matchup, which has also been postponed. The only other interesting thing that came out this week, I think today, was if they're going to have to be multiple double headers because of all of the schedule changes and postponements. The MLB is looking to make it 7-inning double headers. I don't know what we're doing right now, but that seems like a terrible idea. And the only other newsworthy thing that's not COVID related is Trout did go on paternity leave, which helps me in the East Valley out that he's not going to be there. Sorry, Big Mac. All right, so to recap what happened so far this first week, I'm going to do a studs and duds just to highlight some of the players because they kind of get jumbled in with the rest of the team. So you might not know, like, oh, hey, Shane Bieber is rocking a 0 ERA after 14 innings pitched and has 27 Ks and like 1 walk. Easily the front runner for the Cy Young right now, but he's also helped commish to Josh's team to one of the lower ERA and WHIPs in the standings so far this week. Of note, the other 2 pitchers that I want to highlight are Sonny Gray on Derek's team. He's pitched phenomenal. It was 12 and a half innings pitched. He's got 2 wins, 20 Ks, and I think he's allowed 1 run for the year so far. And the Detroit Tigers closer Joe Jimenez with Allen's team. 4 innings pitched, 4 saves. Hasn't been perfect, hasn't been clean, but yeah, he's leading the league in saves right now. On the hitting side, we'll go with my boy Nelson Cruz, forever and for always. Slugging 3 homers, leads the league in RBIs right now. Hopefully he can continue that trend. Another standout surprise is Boston catcher Christian Vasquez, also on Derek's team. He's got 4 homers already. He's leading the league in home runs, and he's got what's his slug, 1.105, and his OBP is almost 500. So it's a welcome surprise from a catcher spot. The other hitter that I wanted to highlight is Teoscar Hernandez, who slugged 2 more homers tonight, Thursday. Currently, he's a free agent, and I don't know what's going on with our waivers right now because nothing processed tonight, which I thought was supposed to happen about 50 minutes ago. So we will keep monitoring that. I think it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which is Sunday night, Tuesday night, and Thursday night is when the waivers should process. So going forward, if the waivers do process on time, then I'll have a little blurb in there about who was picked up going into the weekend. For the duds on the pitching side, it's pretty simple. All the injuries that sucked: Verlander, Strasburg, Kershaw, Kluber. Anyone that's had to deal with any of the postponements, that's also gonna put them on the duds list right now. Duds that actually pitched, you see that Big Mac, JD, and Jared Demo. Their teams are at the bottom, 11th and 12th in ERA and WHIP right now. Just getting hammered. JD, I think, had some bad luck with Barrios, Happ, and Robbie Ray. All of them just getting lit up in their first couple starts, and he's got a 6.8 WHIP or ERA right now. Jared's ERA is a little better, but Ronaldo Lopez just getting crushed for like 2/3 of an inning and giving up 4 runs does not help. He's gotten pretty solid output from what's his name? Hold on. Cincinnati guy now. Can't think of his name. Who's feuding with Mike Clevenger right now. Oh, what's your name? Yeah, Bauer. Sorry, Trevor Bauer. He's gotten pretty good results from Bauer so far in his one game pitch. He threw 13 Ks, so that's definitely helping Jared, but he's still towards the bottom of the league right now with ERA and WHIP. And then the other one is Ohtani, and we kind of got lucky with Ohtani because he wasn't registering as a pitcher right now because he didn't pitch last season. So the 3 hits, 3 walks, 5 earned runs with 0 outs produced did not show up on the stat line there. Going to hitting, you can go 1, 2, 3 pretty much on everybody's draft boards, having atrocious first weeks. I'm holding on. No one's getting rid of these guys, but Acuna sitting with 14 Ks and half of his at-bats with no homers, no RBIs, and no stolen bases is not helpful right now, especially with my outfield being as thin as it is. Christian Yelich probably doing just as bad, if not worse. He's got 1 homer and 3 RBIs, but his OBP is .071, and he's got 12 Ks as well. So I'm sure they'll all right the ship. The last one is Cody Bellinger. No homers, a couple runs, couple RBIs, no stolen bases. It's early, but as the season goes on, these stat lines will look better or worse as we have more at bats and more innings pitched. So the last thing I'm going to do is just kind of highlight each of the divisions, and since we're all playing each other this week, so on the left we've got the categories and what everyone's looking at right now. In the middle we've got all the matchups. So the East Valley is very close with a lot of the matchups. It's going to shift big time over the weekend, seeing as how Eddie Moneyball and myself, I have 1 starting pitcher pitching right now for the rest of the week, so I'm going to get taken over in wins, Ks, pretty much by all 3 of Big Mac, Hopper, and Beast. So for this, like I said, I don't want to go into the argument about what to do with injured players and the postponement of games, but I just want to highlight what each team is going into the weekend looking like. So for myself, I do not have a shortstop or a center fielder currently until these waivers run either tonight or tomorrow. My second baseman is being held on by Garrett Hampson, who's played 1 out of every 3 games. So I'm sitting here looking at 3 spots on my active roster that I'm trying to fill while I see my runs, homers, and RBIs lead dwindle and get overtaken by the other teams. I also had that 1 starting pitcher left, so I've got 15 waiver claims in right now, so hopefully I get some of these guys and we'll see what happens. But kind of goes back to Josh's comment of the strategy that you're going to have to employ week to week and matchup to matchup. Big Mac, he's got everyone playing. The only downside is he's missing Nola this weekend. That sucks, but he's got 4 other starting pitchers. So his ERA and whip is already shot anyway. So I think JD, the best he can hope for is maybe to catch some guys with wins and overtake me and maybe Hopper with Hammy with Ks. Other than that, I think he's got all of his hitters other than Trout now, I guess, but he's able to fill in his Trout other than just not being able to have the best player in baseball for the weekend. Let's see, who do we got? You know what? I don't think he can cover down on Trout for center field, so sorry about that, JD. Yeah, so you're going to also have Trout out. So now Nola and Trout out is probably the top 2 players. If you want to have any complaints for the weekend, that really sucks. Good for us, bad for his first week. So as it stands right now, he's sitting at 0-3. It'll be interesting to see what happens after this week with the if that's the final outcome for the week, what teams start to do going into the second week of 6 weeks. Are we going to start looking at the future, drafting, trading some of the key pieces for future prospects or draft picks? Hopper's got everyone playing, and he's also got 5 starting pitchers. So this is where I see him and Beast probably taking over the division this week. I could easily see Hammy going 3-0. I could also see Derek going 3-0. All these matchups are super close, and if they're going to take a couple things from me, it's going to be Ks and wins. I could easily see him going 3-0 this week. Derek, he's going to miss Vlad. Vlad's his only player that's going to be postponed this week. But he's got a spot to fill because Vlad was filling his utility anyway. So he'll be able to at least fill all of his active hitter spots. He's got 2 starting pitchers this weekend, and he's also got Kershaw coming back potentially on Sunday. I'm sure he'll be on a pitch count innings limit, so it might not be worth it to call him up right now. But depending on how close he is with K's with the rest of us, he might need him. Moving on to the downtown division. We've got, let's see, sorry about that. Currently right now, Ryan is sitting at, as of Thursday, sitting at 3-0. Irby's sitting at 2-1. Carter's at 0-2-1. And then DP Niska is sitting at 0-2-1. So I'm not going to sit here and try and figure out the tie formulas right now. So a lot of these matchups are close. They're going to turn. The big highlight for this division is how nasty their pitching is. ERA and whips, like the highest was 3.68 and 1.13, 1.19 Carter's whip. That's sick compared to some of these other ones where we're sitting at 5 or 6, an easy category for most of us to win. But when everything's this close and you look at saves and holds all being really close as well, a lot of these matchups can flip within a game or 2 of each other. So Carter, he's got 6 starting pitchers this week, the most of anyone in the division, but he doesn't have one of his best hitters, Harper, one of his big spins on the UFA draft. He can be filled, so he's not going to be sitting there with an empty hole in his roster for the weekend. DP, Niska's sitting with 4 starting pitchers, and he's only got 1 hitter that's out, and that's Randall Gruchak, and he can be filled as well, so he's not going to be missing any at bats from his hitters. Irby's got 3 starting pitchers, and he's got the biggest hit of the whole division. He's missing a left fielder and a center fielder, and he doesn't have anyone that can fill that right now. A lot of my comments are probably going to be mute once the waivers actually run, because there are a ton of outfielders that are sitting atop the scoreboard right now. But yeah, with McCutchen and Kingery postponed right now, he's really got to look at trying to fill his left field and center field spots going into the weekend. And then lastly, we've got Ryan sitting with 3 starting pitchers. His only postponement is JT Realmuto, and he already picked up a catcher, I think, with the Wednesday waiver run. So he's not going to be missing any hitters as well. Eflin was a postponement as well, and it was his only pitcher on Sunday. So if it comes down to, a 1 win or a couple Ks, that spot start by Eflin is probably going to hurt. Depending on what happens with the waiver run, he might pick up another pitcher. He's sitting at the 51 Ks right now, so only Irby's below him, but his ERA and WHIP are pretty solid. So maybe with 0 wins, maybe the strategy is just to kind of sit back and hold on to saves and holds. All right, the last division, the West Valley. As it stands right now, Josh is sitting at 3-0. Dodger Blue, which is Ryan, sitting at 2-1. Bad Specimen is Alan at 1-2, and then Jared is at 0-3 with his ERA really hurting him right now, and not a lot of power coming from his team. So Bad Specimen Allen, he's got 4 starting pitchers this week. Big hits with Patrick Corbin and Smith out for his pitchers. Not too bad because he's sitting pretty solid with his ERA, but his WHIP is pretty bad compared to the rest of the division. So losing Corbin is really going to hurt him this weekend. But he's got 4 starting pitchers, so it shouldn't be too bad. Gurriel being postponed isn't going to be a big hit. Oh, there it goes. It looks like I'm getting the emails now for the waiver wire, so we'll talk about that at the end. Going to Josh, he's got 3 pitchers going. His ERA and WHIP are amazing, so I don't know if he's really going to worry about that during the waiver wire. Biggio is his only postponed player of note, and he'll be able to fill him anyways, so he'll have all of his hitters for the weekend. Jared's got 3 starting pitchers this week, and his big blow is Trey Turner is going to be postponed. But if he wants to complain about it, he's filling him in with Fernando Tatis Jr. So 1 All-Star for another All-Star, and he'll have all of his hitters going. Dodger Blue, Ryan's got 4 starting pitchers. He's got a huge disadvantage with Rhys Hoskins not playing this whole week, and Anderson out for Miami as well. He'll be able to fill them, so it's not as big a deal other than just not getting the production from one of your stud hitters. So I'll put it back on the overview, and let me just pull up the transactions real quick now that they've actually run, and see if there are any big moves of note going into the weekend. So it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 17 waiver wire moves. The big names are Irby ended up with Teoscar Hernandez at $7 for his bid. Oof, dang it. Ryan snuck in, and I'm sure a bunch of people had bids on him. Dalton Varsho for a $6 ad. I put him in for a $1 bid. He got in tonight's game and had 1 at bat for a walk, so I was hoping that no one else was on him. But all you Arizona guys are probably putting in bids as well. So he was the next highest bid. And then, Beast Derek had a bid for Merrill Kelly for $8. Those were the big bids. A lot of pitchers. Once again, all of these minor leaguers are somehow ending up on my team, so I'll end up dropping like 5 of these ads. But yep, the big ads were Teoscar Hernandez, who's sitting at 4 home runs right now, going to Irby, and then Dalton Varsho getting the $6 claim by Ryan. Other than that, nothing too exciting. Yep. So going into the weekend, a lot of these matchups are close. I don't expect to be sitting at 2-0 or 3-0 at the end of all of this, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with the guys that are going to end up 0-3. What their next move is going into next week. I don't know how the schedule shakes out, if it's if we're all still playing someone within our division, at least one of those players, or if we're all moving to outside of our division. With the 3 matchups, I thought that it was going to be at least one matchup per week you were playing someone within your division, which will throw a wrench into how I'm trying to format this, but it'll get better going forward. Trying to keep it short just to get this out for the week. I just wanted to I just wanted to do a shorter recap so everyone can kind of get a general picture and idea of what's happening within the league going into the weekend. Like I said, a lot of these matchups are close. A couple pitchers screw up here and there, a couple homers or, games missed, games played is going to really determine a lot of these weeks. So thanks for tuning in. Hopefully I'll get this up early Friday morning for you guys. See you.